All right, welcome to the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life. Today we have Lauren Sesselmann.
Hey guys.
Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Lauren Sesselmann, yes you did.
Lauren Sesselmann.
Yep.
I always do like research, on the guest, and so I've yeah. You have a Wikipedia page,
which
right?
is not a very pretty one.
Is it like accurate? Is it pretty accurate? Have you seen it? Checked it lately?
I haven't checked it recently, but yeah.
Okay, so it says you grew up like in Green Bay.
Yes, I
Green
did.
Bay,
Go
Wisconsin.
Pack Go.
Okay, so are you? And you're like a recent transplant to Los Angeles, then, right?
Yeah, I just came here a couple months ago. Right before the season, I played for Santa Clara de Blue Heat this summer.
Mm-hmm. So like, for, like an ignorant, Los Angeles native, such as myself, like, how is it like growing up out there? And because I imagine like cold, cheeseheads, football, American football, and like large burly white dudes in flannel. Is that like?
You're pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
Like,
Did I describe your dad? Or?
Yeah, pretty much. Hey, Dad. No,
sorry, Mr.
And the
Sesselmann.
camo. We grew up I grew up kind of in the boonies, so it's been kind of just a culture shock coming to LA, but in a good way.
Okay.
And there's not much to do there. We have the Packers, and that's pretty much what our whole city feeds off of. So when it's not football season, don't visit because there's nothing to do. But the Packers, the whole city, it's the only city-owned, football team, which I think is pretty spectacular. So we have our little plaques on the wall. Everyone has Packer bars, Packer basement, everything's decked out. And cheese and beer are a thing out there.
And your family's like that too? Like you growing up, it was like that?
Yeah, oh my gosh, you guys should watch a football game with my mom. She's crazy.
Okay, so then
she screams at the TV, throwing things.
Really?
Aaron! No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Aaron.
So growing up in that kind of environment, then how did you become a soccer player?
It's kind of weird because it wasn't necessarily like a huge sport, back when I was growing up. So I was actually living in Milwaukee at the time. I was, born in Stevens Point, and then we lived in Milwaukee for a couple years of my life, and I was a huge basketball player. Like that was my sport. I hadn't even touched a soccer ball, unless my brothers were like, playing around with it in the yard.
So you were more of a basketball
player
growing up? Okay.
Yeah, basketball was my thing.
And you played on your high school team?
Yeah, played in high school. We were
position?
28-0 state champions.
Wow, okay. And you were a starter, or?
Yes.
Okay, what position?
I was a guard that got transformed into a forward because I was really good at hitting people.
Okay.
Which you can probably tell if you watch me play
like
soccer.
You're a physical player.
I'm a physical player.
No matter what sport you play, you're a physical girl.
Exactly.
And you're like, what, 5'7", 5'8"?
5'8", yeah.
5'8", okay. So
yeah.
But then in basketball, that's not like that tall, right?
It's not, but I just knew how to use my body the right way and get those rebounds. And then I was always the top of the key for defense.
What was your senior year scoring average?
Oh, gosh.
Double digits?
Double digits for sure.
Oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding. I probably had more steals than I had points and assists than I had points. But I did go for the longest run of free throws in a row. I made 35 in a row.
Okay, in games.
Yeah, in games. So they always
underhanded?
No, I never did that. I had the nice little touch there.
All right.
And then I didn't really get into soccer until I was 10 or 11. I was, 6th grade maybe? And my mom's like, you said, I told her to sign me up, which I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just said, I'll try something different because I love playing with my brothers. And so she's like, we get there. I'm like, Mom, I'm not getting out of the car. I don't want to play. Because it's co-ed. It was co-ed for us.
Soccer. So it wasn't like AYSO. It was like some other.
No, we don't have
anything. You don't have it down?
Okay. Kind of like that.
It was like a rec league though, and it was co-ed.
No, it was our school team.
Oh, it was your school team?
Yeah, it was our school team. So it was co-ed. And I get there, and I literally sat on the bench for almost all of practice.
So you were upset because it was co-ed because you wanted to be on an all-girls team?
I guess. I don't know. I think I was just scared, You're always scared until you try things. And then the coach kind of convinced me to get off the bench midway through. And so I went out there, I scored a goal, and I threw a boy on the ground. Wow. My mom picks me up, and I'm like, this is the best sport ever. I'm going to play. I want to play. Get me in all the teams and all this. She's like, oh my gosh, what? So I just kind of fell in love with it right there. And then from then on out, it was my thing, and basketball and soccer were just my thing. And it was hard to make a decision to which one to keep on playing when I got to the college, selection process. But I mean, we'd always grow up playing in the backyard, on the streets, you know, and all my neighbors were mostly the guys that wanted to play. So I was always playing with the guys.
What, you have brothers growing up?
Yeah,
you
I have two brothers.
Two brothers?
Two brothers, and they were goalkeepers, both 6'4", so it was great for me when I was a forward my whole life.
Wow. They're older?
No, actually, I'm the oldest, and then there's one a year younger than me, and then one that's 5 years younger.
Okay, so you're the oldest of three.
Yes.
And two big, burly brothers that protect you. Okay.
Yes. But so it was great having them, you know, for training purposes.
Right, because you're just like, all right, you know, block my shots,
just stand in the goal, and I'm just going to start rifling them at you.
Okay, so then you said it was kind of a tough choice. So when you were in high school and you were going to, because you went to Purdue for college, soccer, you had opportunity to pursue basketball or soccer?
Yeah, I was actually going to try to play both.
For Purdue?
Yeah, I was going to try to play both.
And they're a good, decent program for basketball as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, their women's team was incredible, so I definitely wanted to try it.
Wow.
But I think at that time, I was kind of leaning like, oh gosh, I want to do this for a living.
Okay.
So I had to make a decision, and soccer, you know, is pretty much year-round, like in college, as you know. It's just like nonstop. So I was just like, all right, I'm just going to focus on soccer because I really want to get drafted out of college. And this is when they had the league up. And so we always put together like a little like a little soccer basketball team. And they would play against like the volleyball, and we would put ourselves in like the little rec league that they had at the gymnasium. And so we would just go and we would just take everybody. Because a lot of girls' second sport was basketball.
Right.
A lot of them were. So we just had fun doing that. So at least it was in my life, you know.
Right. Okay. And so then you had a successful college career.
Yeah.
And then did you finish college and then make it to the Canadian Olympic team or Canadian national team?
So I actually didn't even join Canada until 2011.
Okay.
I graduated in 2006 from Purdue.
Okay.
Yes, that makes me pretty old. Sorry.
So you're 30.
I just turned 34.
34. Okay.
Yeah.
You look a lot younger than your age, though, right?
Thank you. 24 maybe?
Yeah. 25.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I didn't even join Canada. I knew that I could play for Canada for a while. So a couple years before 2011, I had to wait till we actually figured out the whole pro thing before I could what's
happening.
What was kind of happening. So when I got out of college in 2006, the league had just folded. So a lot of the girls were like, what are we going to do? And our team was good. We were top 10. So that was great. So a lot of girls wanted to go on and play. And so at that moment, I went and got a job at IBM and then also played for FC Indiana on the side, so semi-pro on the side, until they figured out the whole pro situation.
Right,
and then the WPS
because the league in the U.S. you're saying was folded, and so there wasn't really a top-tier women's league, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you went and just got a regular day job kind of thing, right?
And then when I kind of heard that there was talk that it was going to come back in 2009, I was like, okay, I'm leaving my job on good terms, and I'd already been training. So then they had a combine.
That's what was that job? Your day job.
My day job. I was a sales rep, client rep for IBM.
Okay, and how was that?
It was great. I just got to schmooze people. It was, take them out to fancy dinners, and that's when they had the incentives and they were allowed to do that. And then they took that away. So they took all the fun out of corporate. Gosh.
So you're like that killer, because I've been in sales. So you're that killer, gal that goes in and schmoozes the client.
I basically just have that relationship with them, so they don't want you to sell anything to them, because if they like you, they're going to buy from you. So I'd go in there and ask them about their family. You know what was great? I remember this one instance. We were out at this really fancy dinner, and all these IT directors and everybody were talking about this basketball game that they saw the other day.
Oh my God.
So they're sitting here because they're like looking at me, this young girl, like, what does she know about anything? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, when he hit that three, that was insane. And they all looked at me and they're like,
because you knew the game, right? You watched it.
They're like, after that, they weren't going to buy from us. After that, I did that. They came up to me after, and he's like, to be honest, like, when you start talking sports, you sold us.
Wow.
So I'm very thankful that sports has made a big impact and helped me, make some money.
Right. So then you left the corporate world when the league was starting to form again, right? But obviously, like, you're probably making more money in corporate than you are in soccer at that point,
Oh my
right? gosh,
my dad was like, please don't leave Lauren. He was like, no, I was making a lot of money.
Right.
It was great. But you know what? It was fun, but I just wasn't in love with it. Soccer was like my passion. And ever since I grew up, like I was watching, the girls play, Mia Hamm and Brandon Chastain, even Christine Sinclair, like my teammates that I've been watching them, kind of just go through the whole thing. And I'm just like, this is where I want to be, I know after I had a successful college career too, it just that fire in me was still burning. And I said if I didn't try it, I was going to regret it.
Okay. So kind of go through us like quickly the kind of the pro career, and then how you got into the Olympics.
So we had the combine,
or the national team.
Yeah. So I played in the WPS. I played for Sky Blue. I got drafted to Chicago, but then ended up being on Sky Blue that first year, which we won the WPS championship, which was pretty awesome.
Because they won back to back, right?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure.
So you were there probably the second year?
I was there the first year in 2009 when we first won it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I went to Atlanta when Atlanta came the next year. So I played for Atlanta for 2 years. And then right before that World Cup, or in 2011, I remember it was going down. Like the WPS was folding.
Okay.
So at that point in 2011, I had been reaching out to Canada and be like, hey, these are the teams I'm on. Watch me. I really want to play for you guys. You know.
Why the Canadian team instead of the US team?
Canada's always had a special place in my heart. Like my father was born there. He was born in Newfoundland, grew up there. We would always go camp. I mean, Wisconsin's so close to Canada. We would always go camping up there all the time. And, you know, my grandparents were from there. So for me, like, it's always been a part of my life.
I don't hear any Canadian
people say they hear
accent
really?
at all.
I say a lot because
really?
I'm like a Youper too, like, because the UP at Michigan is right there. So I say it a lot, and you'll catch me. Just watch. And
yeah, I don't get that Fargo from you at all.
Really?
No.
You're probably the first person that's actually said that. Yeah.
No, I'm really
yeah.
Okay, interesting, right?
Maybe it's because I've been in LA too long. No,
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
yeah, you're all posh now.
I know,
you know?
yeah.
Okay.
And so, you know.
So from the get-go, you had that heart for Canada and your dad's side, and so you wanted to go for the Canadian team. Okay.
For sure.
So
like,
then,
you know, like, you go where, and it's an opportunity. It's an amazing, incredible opportunity. And for me, when I got that email that said, okay, finally we want to bring you in.
Yeah.
Because before, the old coach that they had, they didn't perform very well at the 2011 World Cup. And this is when they kind of just redid everything. So they got a new coach. You know, they rotated some players in. So they were looking for new players. So it was perfect timing, basically. And the new coach, John Herdman, came in and just completely turned the whole program around. And, you know, it was such a blessing. And he's like, hey, we're giving you this opportunity. This is your one shot. And oh my gosh, you know? So then
you had to like moving to Canada at this point?
Well, basically, like, you're there half the year.
Okay.
So I went right away because they were right after the World Cup, they were having 2 games against the U.S.
Okay, so this is what, 2010?
2011. Right before the Pan American Games, we played the U.S. So then I go in there, and the first thing he says, we have too many forwards. How about defense? Okay. I go, defense? Sure.
Right.
Because, you know, I was tall.
Yeah,
and
that's okay. So that's crazy to me. Like, how do they? So then, are you competing for a position still at this point? Like, no matter what, you're always competing, right?
Yeah.
So then, like, how many? Because what's the roster limit? 28 or something like that?
It varies for different things. You know, that we had the Pan American games that were coming up. I think it was only like 18 or 23.
Okay. So like at this point, how many girls are like, you know, trying
in camp? Usually we have about like 28, and then he cuts down. It just depends.
They're just getting like 28 like really good players.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna figure it out from there, right?
Yeah, because I mean, a lot of the girls were some staple players that had been there throughout everything, and so he was just bringing in new positions where he felt that they needed new players.
Right.
And I'm a left-footed, which has been amazing for me, you know, on teams, because they're always looking for lefties to play on that side. And for me, I was always like a very physical player. So he's like, I'm going to try you at defense. And I was like, as long as you teach me the position, like, I can do it. I know I can, because I just have that defensive instinct. I've always been that way as a forward.
Yeah.
And
you're like a physical forward.
Yeah. And I kind of knew at that level, like, I'm like quick, but I'm not fast. I'm not like Alex Morgan, lightning fast. It's Christine Sinclair. So I kind of knew that I maybe had to adapt a different role.
That's crazy to me that you're playing at that level.
Yeah.
And did you like play defense like before or not really?
Not really.
Okay, so all throughout college you're playing forward as well, right?
Yeah, I was that center, that brute force center forward.
Right, like a Drogba type of like target forward kind of.
Yeah.
Okay, so then and then you're trying to make this late conversion from forward, you know, left wing or forward to defense. And
not to mention that you're going to play U.S. in like a week. And so he's like, you need to learn this position in a week. And I'm like, yeah, sure, coach, no problem.
So then there weren't any defenders enough on the team?
There was,
like, how can
there
that
was
seems like
some,
a lot of pressure to just like a week before to convert somebody and then put them in the game.
There was some, but there wasn't a lot that were left-footed. And there wasn't a lot.
So he really wanted like a left-footed back.
And there wasn't a lot that maybe at that time he was happy with or wanted to try different. I don't know. You know, it's without saying that. Whatever. So he just wanted to try, he just wanted to try different people, different places. Okay. So everybody was being switched around. And so at that time, I was like, okay. And in that practice, I ended up scoring like an upper 90 goal when I was playing left back, and he's like, okay, you're going to start this U.S. game.
Okay.
I think you know the role, even though we still had so much to work on. He's like, I think you're just going to have to go for it. And
was this like on a corner kick or something, or what?
No, I just brought the ball up and I just decided to shoot it.
You like attacked and then shot it.
And then after that, he was like, okay, Sess, okay, I think you can really play there. I'm like, I was shaking in my boots. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Right.
But you know what's great is the.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I love defenders that are converted forwards.
Yeah.
That can make runs.
Yeah.
And plus, because they usually have like a much better touch than just like a kid that grew up playing defense. You know, they're comfortable with the ball, and then also they can attack.
The thing about it is like a lot of coaches are trying to do that right now. They're trying to move the forwards to that position, which is great, and some of them are really great at it. But if you don't teach them, which a lot of the coaches are not doing, like more on the pro level, not on the international level, because the coaching is insane at the international level. At that level, if you're not teaching them correctly, which isn't happening with some coaches. It's
Okay.
I'm kind of like, you need to coach them if you're going to put them there.
Okay.
So luckily they have amazing center backs and all these teams that are really like leaders out there that are helping people kind of mold into these roles. So, and a lot of people who are willing to learn it so they can play there, because there's some girls that can run for days up and down that sideline, and I think it's phenomenal. So so when we played the U.S., he's like, just win the ball every single time. Just go. Don't let them turn. Step your body in. I'm like, okay, sure. No idea what's going to happen in this game, and go out there and, you know, I felt great. I felt like this is where I belonged. I felt like defense was kind of maybe my calling this whole time.
Right. That's
and
awesome.
I didn't know. And then, so I was a left back for a really long time. And then when we got, a year, I guess, because then we won on gold medal at the Pan American Games a couple months after that. So John completely turned this program on me. You know, having only won one game in the World Cup to winning the gold medal in Pan American Games against Brazil twice. We had to play them twice, which was not an easy game. And doing really well against the Americans. I think we tied one and we lost one, which by one goal, which was good for us, you know?
Yeah.
And then we went up in the rankings, and then he just kept on building this team, and we just started winning more games. And then the Olympics were coming up, 2012, and
that's the London, right?
London Olympics. And so the momentum just kind of carried into that, and where we won a bronze medal. And actually in that tournament, we had all our center backs get hurt, so I had to step into a center back role. And that's when I became just the center back. Then from there on out. Because
you started like every game in the Olympics, okay? Yeah. How was that experience like? And where is your bronze medal, by the way? Do you
it's at home in a little trophy case.
At like here in LA or at
like
home?
In Green Bay. My parents have it. I was gonna bring it out here, but I'll get it. When I go home.
I'd be carrying that thing around all the time, or at least like a replica.
I know.
You know, I would go to a trophy store, right, and say, "Can you, give me a replica?" And then I would keep the one at home safe, locked away, and then be wearing that one all the time for at least a decade.
Well, I didn't know where I was going to be living, and kind of when I came out here. So once I go home for Thanksgiving, then
that's awesome though. Okay,
it's been cool.
What was the Olympics experience like?
It was.
Did you guys play against? Because you guys were in third place, so you guys won the bronze medal. So that means, and then that year, 2012, U.S. won. The gold, right?
You guys do know that game. We should have been in the finals.
Okay, so then
you know what happened with the ref and everything.
Okay, so then let's go into that. Okay, so Japan got silver, right?
Japan and
Okay, so U.S. gold, Japan silver, Canada bronze, and so you're talking about the semifinal game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was against.
They still keep replaying.
Okay, and that was against which team? Go ahead and
U.S.
Okay, tell us what happened.
I mean, it was we scored first, then they scored, then we scored, then they scored. So it was 3-2, and it was just a couple minutes left in the game. We were winning. The ref calls this call that's like never been called in football history.
Okay, which is what?
Which is where the goalkeeper was hanging on the ball too long, which she wasn't, because they had they had Abby Wambach. I was right next to Abby when this happened. In the ref's ear, 30s, just throwing out numbers to throw her off base. And all of a sudden, she never even gave a warning or anything. She just gave him a card. Gave her a card. Gave Aaron a card and was like,
to the Canadian keeper, right?
To the Canadian keeper. So they get a free kick.
So let's go through that though real quick. So there is a rule in the books though.
But she was not holding it for 6 seconds.
Right. So it's 6 seconds, but like no one calls that.
No
right?
one's ever called it.
Even
it's
like
Pia,
9, 10, 11 seconds, huh? And then they're you know what I mean? They never call that, right?
Even Pia, the U.S. coach, was like, okay, what just happened? That's never been called.
Right.
But usually they need to give a warning. There was no warning. There was nothing.
Okay.
It was just.
Okay.
It was just her doing that, and then it was just a couple minutes left, literally 2 minutes, I think, or 1 minute left on the clock,
game, okay.
and they scored on that kick.
Okay, so then the referee called some bizarre call saying the goalkeeper, your goalkeeper's holding on to the ball too long, and they gave a free kick.
Yep.
Where was the free kick exactly at?
It was like right at the top of the 18.
Okay, and then they scored from that.
Yeah.
So then that was a tie.
Yep, and then we went into overtime, and then Alex scored. And I think it was the first overtime.
Okay. So that's like.
So, I mean, everybody there was like, you know what? You guys should have went on, but it is what it is. You know, things happen for a reason, and you know, it's just unfortunate. And that ref was actually never allowed to ref another international game. She actually had to go to like ref court or something.
Right. And now she's like, I don't know, where's she in Green Bay? And
she's in Green Bay drinking beer and eating cheese.
Right.
But, you know, I feel bad for her, but at the same time, I'm like...
It's heartbreaking, right?
It is. Like, for us to make it... We had an incredible Olympic experience.
Yeah, because I remember, like, all the commentators all the time talking about how this is, like, the Canadian team is, like, incredible. This is, like, the best, and right? And you guys were favored, right?
Yeah. I mean, so it was heartbreaking, but we brought it together, and...
And the next match, you guys were able to recover, and then for the bronze game, right? Medal, right?
We played France, who are so good.
Right.
Like, France is seriously, I think, one of the best teams I've ever played against. They have it all. And we came away and we won like in the 90th minute we scored.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, let's get lit into like, because I'm not an Olympic athlete, right? I'm not an Olympian, but I read a lot, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, then they say like, you know, the infamous Olympic Village.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's like. Is it? Tell us, like, how crazy is it? Like,
it is.
Give us your experience, like, because
we weren't there that much though, because for soccer you're actually traveling to the different, you know, stadiums.
Yeah.
So we were only there for like a day, really. Okay. But the food is, oh my gosh, they have every type of food you can possibly imagine.
Okay.
I think the hotspot was McDonald's. Like everybody was done. Like McDonald's probably had the most people there. Yeah, it was insane. It's a really cool experience. You know, they have little shops in there, and then you know they have just all the athletes get to, you know, interact. Like I met Usain Bolt. Like you're seeing all the top athletes that you just admire, you know, and inspire you, like are just like hanging out with you. And you just meet a lot of cool people because everyone's in the lunchroom together. And
it's like I heard it's like junior high cafeteria and then like everyone's beautiful and good looking and the fittest on the planet,
the fittest on the planet. I don't know so much about the other things that people talk about, you know, like the hookup culture. The hookup culture.
You guys were, so you're saying you weren't there long enough.
We weren't there for any of that.
So I gotta.
But they handed out materials.
Just protective materials.
Protective materials to make sure everyone was okay. And so it was pretty funny actually.
So, but then there isn't like this like roving athlete crew like trying to hit up on and pick up on all the like the good-looking Canadian players.
Everybody there like.
There's a vibe.
There's a vibe. Everyone's kind of like, ooh, he's cute. Or they're like, ooh, look at her. Or something like that. So then you're always meeting them. But, I mean, some of them, you know, I mean, for us, it was hard because we weren't there. So, but it's pretty cool to meet all these athletes.
That's like a once in a lifetime experience, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got to meet Neymar and, you know, Marcelo, like all those, like we got a picture with them, like, because they were in our hotel. Like, you're just interacting with people who, you know, inspire you.
Was there, so who was like you know, any people or teams or, you know, countries that really stood out that you know what I mean, vivid, that you really remember? Any famous players or athletes that you know, like, that you looked up to that you were like? Yeah,
I mean, I guess Usain was really cool to...
Usain Bolt?
Yeah, to see. And then, I mean, I guess meeting Neymar and Marcelo was like super cool.
Are they like the most popular? Like Usain Bolt was probably like one of the most popular athletes.
Yeah, he was.
He stood out, even amongst in that crowd.
And we met a lot of cool people, track and field and swimmers and everybody. So... I don't know. Everyone's just kind of mixed in there, but I think it would definitely be the soccer players for me. I think is the coolest. Awesome. So, like, Neymar and it's cool.
Okay, and so now let's talk about like what you're doing now, right?
Yeah.
Because you had an injury and you took like 2 years off, right?
So after I tore my ACL in 2014 when we were in Cyprus in Greece, and then I got back for the World Cup in 2015, which was also a surreal experience being in Canada.
So you did play. You played in the World Cup.
Yeah, I came back for the World Cup.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
And what's so like, you know, World Cup, Olympics, is World Cup still like a higher level on the experience?
I mean, especially having it in Canada.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was. and the thing is like our fans in Canada are just amazing, you know, so everyone knows you go anywhere and they're like, oh my gosh, Lauren, oh my gosh, Christine, you know, like
you're like a rock star, right?
You know, and you know, it's just so different than being in the States, and you know, because the
where
pros,
people don't know soccer players, right?
They just don't. They do, but they don't.
They don't appreciate it really as much.
They know
either.
a few. Yeah, they know a few, like you know, the Alex and the Sydney and the Abby, you know, that they recognize.
Right.
But they don't follow our pro, you know, league as much. Yeah. Except for the international, and you know, besides hockey, like soccer is like one of the number one for the female side there in Canada, most watched. Okay. You know, even more so than the men, which is incredible. So just the vibe and the atmosphere, you know, red everywhere, just everyone cheering for us and hoping that we would go far again. Right. You know, obviously we, you know, unfortunately we didn't do so well. We lost in the quarters, which, you know, things happen. It's all part of it. And then we went on to win the bronze, you know, the next year in the Olympics. So, I mean, it's just a testament. We have, you know, a lot of, you know, different players coming in and out, but, you know, John is an incredible coach, and it's just a testament to how much he's turned this program around. Okay. Two bronze medals, you know, 1 gold medal. I think it's pretty cool, but playing for World Cup, I mean, now I can say I've done it all, you know, and I came back right before the World Cup and played every game. And, you know, just had a great time, but my body needed to heal afterwards, you know, because I kind of rushed the process. And then I hurt my other knee, you know, when I went back when I was playing for Houston, we went back into the league, and I unfortunately hurt my other knee. Okay. And then my body just needed some time to rest. Okay. And then when he was bringing in the younger generation, you know, this last year, that's great. I mean, it's great. But my body feels great now, you know, and, you know.
So where are you at then? Are you still, you know, like, have you like formally retired from the national team?
I have not. I have and I haven't. Okay. Like, there was a couple of us girls that went to, like, you know, get fan appreciation and say, hey, these girls, you know, have done a lot for the program. And then when I was there, you know, I had been talking to the coach a lot. I'm just like, you know, I'm not really done. You know, there's part of me that's not done, part of me that kind of maybe should be done. But because, you know, I want to have a family and all those things, and you know, we just don't make a lot of money. It's very hard at my age, you know, to really survive playing as a soccer player. So you just kind of have to make decisions. But when that all kind of happened, this past year has been a really emotional ride. I mean, who are you without soccer? You know, really, it's been your whole life. That's who people recognize you are. So it's you go into kind of like a little bit of a hole, you know, and a little bit.
So you haven't let go of your soccer career. You're still.
I haven't.
Are you in limbo? Like,
I'm
because
kind
I know
of
you
in
played.
limbo.
You just played this year.
Yeah, and
for Santa Clarita Blue
Heat. And that's the best I've felt in so long. So I think my body was just telling me I needed to take a break, and if I want to do it, it's ready. You know, and with the talks of, you know, new teams coming in, I know the possibility is there, and I've been training nonstop.
So you're still training right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been doing some stuff with Beast Mode. He's great with the players. He knows what it is, and he's just so for us, which is, you know, amazing. And I've been doing my own training. And I've just, you know, I'm just kind of seeing where life takes me right now, because coming out here to LA, there's been so many amazing opportunities. So it's kind of like, hey, do you go back and play and try to win another medal? You know, maybe not for so much money, or do you start doing these other things and maybe helping on the other side of soccer, more the mentoring role, which I really love, the charity aspect and all that stuff. So I presented, luckily, with a lot of amazing opportunities. So I think it's just kind of seeing how these next month or two kind of like rolls out.
We're on a month-to-month schedule right now, huh?
It's hard because you know, season starts again in March. You know, and I just have to figure it out.
And you're talking about UWS?
The NWSL, it's called.
NWSL.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're talking about the top tier.
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking about pros.
Because you played in Division 2 with Santa Clarita Blue Heat.
Yeah, this summer. Because I wanted to see how my knee was, and just kind of if I still had the same love that I did, because I was out of the game for a year. So for me, it's definitely the love is still there. I had so much fun, and you know, the bone crusher, they call me, and they call Desi the Destroyer, is definitely back in action. So awesome. For me, we'll see what happens.
So you're still right at that limbo, and you may go back to NWSL. You may consider national.
I would love to, you know, but I know like a lot of the national teams are going for the younger generation. The younger generation is doing a phenomenal job. So I know there's a couple of older players still there with Christine and, you know, Diana and Desi. And I would love to be a part of that again. But you know what? Okay. We'll see what happens. If not in that role, then maybe on the outside of, you know, in a different role. And I'm finally coming to terms with, you know, I mean, my career has been incredible. I mean, there's no way many people say I would never have gotten this far. And to prove them wrong and just to prove it to myself that is, you know, I mean, I have 2 medals. That's insane. You know, and I've played in every major tournament. You know, in college I have 6 records. Like for me, like I've hit all of the milestones that I've wanted to hit. And so it's just right now, it's just that love of the game and bringing it to the next level again, and winning another medal would be another, you know, notch on the belt. So. Awesome.
Okay, that's awesome. Switching gears a little bit then. Okay, so you said you've been in LA for a few months now, right? Like, how has that transition been for you? You know, give us some crazy LA stories.
Dude, LA is crazy.
Yeah. Where in LA do you live right now?
I'm now in Santa Clarita.
Okay, so you are.
Yeah, I just moved out there like recently. I was like in the Crenshaw area, living with a family who actually her sister's my makeup artist for a lot of the projects that we do, and I was nannying a little bit, so that was great. But LA is
au pair.
Yeah, is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Yeah, yes. That sounds better. An au pair.
Right, because they have little children.
They had a little one. Okay, she was 6 months when I came in. The sweetest little thing ever. And LA is very fast paced. The traffic, I hate it. Like absolutely hate it. Like I'm stuck in traffic probably about half the day, all the time. But the opportunity is cool, and the people you're going to meet. It's incredible.
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing a lot of things and you're pretty busy every day, right?
Yeah, I don't even know how I function some days. Coffee. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing a lot of different things, you know, mentoring, a lot of charity work, acting, modeling, and then I have my own fitness company.
Right. The Fit as a Pro.
Fit as a Pro, yeah. Which
Tell us about that. What is it like, you know?
Yeah, that's been around. We just celebrated 4 years, and which is pretty awesome. We started this company, and it just kind of started with my business partner. She was like a huge soccer fan, and then we became friends, and she's also a producer. She does all the movies, so she produces all our fitness videos.
Got it.
So together we created Fit as a Pro. Okay. You know, we're on all digital platforms, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, and it's fun to see that we're helping other people. Okay. You know, they're all like on the go 10-minute workouts you can do pretty much anywhere.
Okay. Is this like so you said it's also on YouTube as well?
Yep.
It's all free to view, or is there like a subscription model?
On YouTube is free.
Okay.
And then we have programs that are on the digital platforms, which is like they're not that expensive. They're like $7 or $9
a month.
No, just to buy the DVD.
Oh, to buy the DVD.
Yeah, they're DVDs.
Got it.
But
and who is that geared towards? Is it like a younger girl, a guy?
We have
Fit as a Pro.
Fit as a Pro. Yeah. So it's basically just anybody who wants to work out. The thing is you can do it based on your own like fitness level. So if you want to take it slower, you can take it slower. If you want to kick it up a notch, you can kick it up a notch. But we have modifications that I talk about in there for everybody. So it's kind of just geared to everyone who wants to just, you know, the thing is the essence behind it is we're always on the go. We never have any time, especially living in LA. Like the time is horrible. So, but that's what a lot of people always complain about, you know? And so this way it's only a 10-minute workout. You know, you get your sweat in 10 minutes and then you can go, you're out the door. And it's just kind of based off a lot of stuff that I like to do to train. You know, I also do weight stuff too, but this is like stuff you can use in your home, and you can use a water bottle for a weight or something like that. A towel, which really kicks your butt. People wouldn't think it would, but it really kicks your butt. And we're going to be doing a lot more other things. We're doing some stuff with kids, and then I do a lot of collaborations with other trainers, celebrities, and pro players. So you're going to kind of get a mix of different things because we want to be able to cater to a lot of different people.
Got it. It's interesting. Okay.
It's fun.
All right. You haven't given us any of your crazy LA stories yet, though.
Gosh, I don't even know anything crazy.
Like, what's your, because I know it sounds like you're really busy and you got a lot of different things going on.
Yeah.
What about on the social life scene, you know? What's the current situation then?
Yeah.
You're not married, right?
No, not married. Okay. Single boys. No, I'm just kidding. It's really hard.
You have a significant other?
No, I don't now.
So you're available.
I am available.
And what's the best way to reach you then? Like, if like a charming, gentle, like, okay, how about, what's your ideal kind of, you know, what's your profile of a guy, you know? What suits you?
Obviously, I like somebody who's interested in sports.
Okay, so a sporty guy.
They have to be into sports.
Okay, so
yes.
you can't be out of shape. So you got to be at least, get on that fit as a pro, guys, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I like them obviously a little bit taller than me.
Okay, so at least, so
a little bit stronger.
So you're 5'8". So what's like starting height without,
I would say 5'11".
Okay, good. I'm 5'11".
Yeah, 5'11". Look at you're higher. You're in.
All right. So 5'11", sporty. You gotta be stronger than you, right?
Yes.
You can't be weaker than you, right?
No.
Okay, because you're an athlete.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have
so
a
he's gotta
very
be athletic.
athletic build.
He's gotta be athletic. Okay.
Yes.
And what else?
Good hygiene.
Good hygiene. Key.
That's like key.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Key. Funny because I'm a goofball and I like to I'm always laughing and I'm always dancing. So you just have to be a goofball with me.
Okay, has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, and likes adventure.
It's like on paper it sounds good, but then like girls they say that, and then all of a sudden they end up with this like 65-year-old sugar daddy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So, that's the crazy story.
With bad hygiene.
Speaking of that, okay, when I get here, I'm just like, I went out to dinner one night with one of the guys. He was living with his family I was living with. He's great, but we went out to dinner and ended up having like escorts at our dinner, and nobody talked to me. It was just very weird. Like I'm trying to talk to these girls and like, oh yeah.
How's it going?
There was like 3 of them there, and they're like, yeah.
So it was a guy, your friend, and you and 3 other females?
No, there was some other guys there.
Okay.
So I would obviously got along with the guys because I get along with guys just, I don't know why, just better because I like to talk sports. And these girls would not look at me. They would not talk to me. I'm like, oh, try the food. They would not eat the food. I was just like, okay, this is the most awkward situation. And then I just hear about like some of the parties that people go to, and I'm just like, that's not your scene. This is not the Midwest. Like this is completely different. And my parents were really scared that was going to happen to me when I came out here.
I feel like it was at like Boa Steakhouse. I feel like for some reason, like
yeah, it was kind of
like a Hollywood.
It was a Hollywood hotspot. Yeah, and it's just. Everyone's got a sugar daddy out here. I've come to realize that's totally not me. I like to work, obviously, hence why I don't have a social life, probably. And there's nothing wrong, like, hey, to each their own. But you don't hear any. And the thing out here is, too, nobody wants to have kids. It's very odd. Like, a lot of people.
They have kids later in life, right?
Or they just don't want them because they're like, they don't want to deal with them, or they only have like 1 or something like that. In the Midwest, everyone's like
totally
married
lifestyle.
And have like 4 or 5 kids. And
so
that was like always, my mentality. I'm like, oh, I'm going to have 4 kids. And everyone looks at me like I'm like crazy out here. It's just a little fast paced that I'm used to, but I was raised well.
But you must be, do guys like, approach you when you're out and about? Like in the gym?
Yeah,
or
in the
restaurant?
gym.
What's like,
in the gym a lot.
They approach you at the gym?
Yeah, I was training with another pro
player. I've never known, like, what's the best, like, I've never been able to, girls always like, they have the headphones on and you know what I mean?
Nobody really wants to be approached in the gym, to be honest. Because like, first of all, I was with another one of my old teammates, another pro player.
A girl?
Yeah, a girl, and we're always working out at this gym, and guys would not leave us alone. And she's a gorgeous girl. Just like always come up and, oh, how do you do that exercise? And all this stuff, and want to talk to us, and her and I look at each other and like, we just want to work out. Like we're like sweating, and we're just like, oh, we need to get this.
Guys don't care about that. That's fine.
No, we're like, we just want to do our workout, and every 2 seconds, like people are coming. I'm like, but
so you guys get approached at the gym then?
But that's never even happened to me before. Like I've never been approached at the gym until I moved to LA.
Interesting. What gym do you work out at?
It was LA Fitness.
LA Fitness. Okay.
Yeah. So we would always laugh because we're like, oh gosh, they're coming over. They're coming over. And we would just laugh it off. Obviously, we're nice to everybody, but that's not where we like to get picked up.
Got it.
We're focused. You can tell, because they always like, we can tell you're athletes. Okay. So if we're athletes, don't leave us alone. So we're hardcore. Yeah.
Maybe the thing would be like a smoothie after, right? While you're like cooling down, and then just kind of like, hey, I noticed,
But guys here are weird too. Like they always expect something.
Like, what do you mean?
I don't
Give
know
me an
if
example.
this is just maybe the Hollywood world that I'm in, but like I'd gone to a business meeting and the person afterward tried to kiss me, and I'm like,
oh wow. Was it like the Hollywood like side kiss? No, it was like the full on.
He was like going in. He's like, I really want to like take you out, and I'm like, we didn't talk about anything like that. This was like an actual business meeting. And he caught me so off guard, and I was like, I was obviously very nice. Because I'm not a mean person, but I was just like, oh, sorry, this is not like that. Because I think out here people are just so used to that's how people get ahead.
Wow. I have no idea.
I mean, I've heard stories, and not to be whatever, to each their own. I'm going to say that to each their own. I don't care what anybody else does, but for me,
you're sharing your own personal experiences.
My
it's very
own,
interesting.
I wasn't raised that way. I rather work hard to get somewhere. And
got it. So then, so we already have the list of kind of what your, wish list is, and then, we understand that. Going through your social media, Instagram, is Instagram kind of your favorite platform for social media?
Yeah, I would say it's.
You also have like a Twitter?
I do have a Twitter, but that's more sports oriented when I talk about like games and stuff like that. And then Instagram's more my personal. A lot of the sponsors like to work off of Instagram because it's the fastest growing platform, and I think it's where you get the most views and and stuff like that. So I have fans from all over the world, which I think are
that's pretty cool, right?
Are pretty. It's
and
pretty
so you
awesome.
get you've been getting pretty good. It looks like you have a good decent following, and how do you get that blue check mark, by the way? Like
all the athletes get them.
They do, but like not high school athletes, right? Like
no, just the pro, just the pro athletes. Sorry, I had to clarify that.
Right.
So
I played high school sports.
Yeah, the league makes sure so people know
that you will get one
because it helps with our branding. It helps people really follow us and know that we're like legit.
Yeah.
So the league helped us all with that.
Awesome. Okay.
But
so then, what's kind of like you have a good mix.
I do,
of your
and
posts.
What's crazy is people are talking about social media and how you have to have like 3 things that stand out.
Okay.
I'm like, I didn't know there was a science to social media, but if you look at a lot of people with like, they'll have 3 pictures look one way, then the next 3 pictures. I'm like, that is a
grid,
lot of
right?
effort.
Grid, yeah, we do that too.
Okay, sorry, that's a lot of effort. Unless you have somebody that can do that for you, like
that's why we post once every month. Man.
Okay, well I don't have the time.
It's hard to get 3 pictures in a row. It is.
I don't have the time to make it aesthetically pleasing. Right. I'm sorry, so it's just my fans are gonna have to deal with it. But obviously they really love the soccer posts. Is probably where I get the most.
But I was saying you have a good mix of like athletic background, and you're doing fitness, and you got like soccer, and then you have fit as a pro, and then you have some fashion, then you got some you don't really have like booty pics or anything, so I'm not gonna say that, but you have like fitness.
I would get in so much trouble if I had a lot of booty pics out there.
From your parents or what?
No, it's just not how I want to be viewed as. But I wanted to be like sexy but not too sexy. Does that make sense?
It's like a fine line, right?
It's hard because for us, especially as females, you have to have a fine line, especially for me. I work with a lot of children. I just don't want to be viewed that way. But also you need it for the sexy aspect, you need it for the sponsors because that's what they want, and that's how you make money. So you have to find that balance, which is very hard. So sometimes I'll contemplate a picture and I'm like, I don't know.
Should I or shouldn't I? So you handle all of your own social media then? And the Instagram?
I have somebody that does my Fit as a Pro one.
With your partner, right?
Yeah. So we have a social media person, and they'll do some stuff on my private one sometimes too. It's hard to keep up with all the social media platforms. Like if I don't have somebody, and my PR sometimes helps me with it as well. But it's a lot of work.
But you are getting good traction with brands and sponsorships, and they're hitting you up.
It's getting there. It's I think you just have to continue because it's hard for us because it's like I'm a Canadian player, but I'm also from the States, so it's kind of like what brands are going to get want to work with you. So because they'd rather work with like the U.S. players, which is fine, which I get it. So it's very hard. Like for me, I was the only player on our World Cup roster that wasn't getting paid to wear the boots.
Wait, say that one more time.
Was the only one on the roster that wasn't making money wearing the soccer cleats.
When you were on the Canadian national team?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
The World Cup, and I was the one that got photographed wearing them.
I
was the only player.
So you just didn't have a sponsorship.
I didn't have a sponsorship. Nobody wanted to work with me because I was American Canadian. Oh, and they're two separate.
Yeah, it was tough to market.
It's two separate. So, which was really hard because I don't really understand that because I feel like, hey, like I'm rocking them out. We're getting you photographed in them. It's gonna do you a good service. Like.
Man, I would have been bitter and just like worn those blackout cleats. You know how like they do that?
It's really hard for people. I don't think people really realize. And then people always want to do stuff. They're like, oh, like, will you post? Yeah, I'll post. But it's hard because like some girls that even have less following are making money doing the postings. But you don't want to ask because I'm not that kind of person to really like ask for stuff. So like if they offer the money, then yes, that's amazing. If they don't, I still do it because I love helping like smaller brands get bigger. I'm all about like helping, which is which you kind of have to be as a female because as your brand gets bigger, then it changes. But I don't know, social media is a whole nother can of worms that I could talk about.
Sure.
Yeah, because there's just some things I don't agree with and some things I agree with, but it's just...
Yeah, but your Instagram, it's like, when I look at it, it's like a variety of ways to be marketed and approached, you know?
And I do a lot of stuff in Spanish, too.
Oh, you do?
So my business partner is from Colombia.
Oh, she is.
And most of my fans are Latin American. So
Colombia, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
The right Colombia. Yes, not Colombia, but Colombia.
Right.
And so I speak a little bit of Spanish, but for me, I want to be fluent. That is my goal by the end of this year. Okay. But she teaches me a lot. We have Spanish lessons. So
really?
Yeah, but I took like Spanish throughout college and stuff like that. And when you're submersed in the culture, like you're always trying to talk back with the fans and stuff like that. So all of our stuff, especially for Fit as a Pro, is in English and Spanish.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Do you get any like sounds like you get business inquiries. You also get like personal inquiries through Instagram as well? A lot of DMs or what? Like how many DMs are we talking like on a daily basis? Yeah, on a daily.
Probably like 50 on a daily.
50? 50?
Yeah.
And then out of 50,
it varies every day.
And then out of 50, how many of those are business and how many of those are like non-business related, personal?
Not a
nature?
Lot business.
No.
Maybe a few.
Oh, like one or two, three, four.
They write me. A lot of people write me love poems, which I think.
Poems.
Which,
wow.
if you're watching and you follow me, I actually read them and I appreciate them.
So I'm glad you enjoyed that.
I read.
It took me a long time to compose that one, by the way.
I think yours was the best, actually.
Yeah, it was a
something about my eyes.
Yeah, it was a limerick.
Limerick. But yeah, I actually really appreciate when the fans write to me.
Really? Okay.
I know I don't respond to a lot, but I read all of them because I get so many. It's really hard, and I'm so busy.
Now you're gonna get inundated with even more DMs.
That's
now
fine.
That
you guys can send them.
Send limericks.
I do only if
keep it clean though.
Only if it's nice.
Okay.
People who bully, I can't stand. I have no.
Okay.
There's
no
who's
time. Who's gonna bully you on Instagram via DM?
People are very mean.
Really? So you get bully type DMs
in comments, in whatever.
I can see that.
People always have something
just
to say because they don't know
okay.
anything about you, and they just assume they know things about you. So people
and it's
like
easy
to say,
be sitting on the couch,
exactly.
with and say something. Right,
exactly.
Right. Okay.
So I just delete those.
So you get tons of DMs though, like 50 a day.
I get a lot. Maybe not 50, but it varies every day of how many we get.
Sure.
And some of them are so sweet. They are. They're just like, you're my favorite. I love watching you play. Mm-hmm. Can you come back to the soccer field? We miss you. And some will write love poems like, I would clean the kitchen for you, like and cook for you. Yeah, it's really weird things.
I know. You gotta reply.
Some of them I do. If they're in the comments, I'll reply, but sometimes like in actual messages, I don't reply to all of them because then some of them get a little weird.
Yeah, they'll take a weird. All of a sudden they take a
then
weird.
they just start like
a
lot of them, and then you're just kind of like
okay.
And then they get angry. Like one person, because I didn't respond, got super angry and then went off on me, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I don't want to like make anybody mad or anything. I try my best, but it's hard. I mean, I can't even imagine how many Alex probably gets or Sydney or anything like that because everybody loves.
She's never responded to a single one of my DMs.
She hasn't?
No, not to one of my DMs.
Oh my gosh, maybe because she has like 3 million followers.
I'm just kidding. I'm not a stalker. I've never DM'd her. I promise.
But yeah, I know. I do appreciate all the fan love that we get. And, it's growing every day. I mean, all the followers are starting to get more into, because you have to find that segue between, the soccer and what you're doing off the pitch too. Sure. And it's not easy because some fans are like, why are you doing that?
Right.
Why am I going to follow that? So now slowly they're into it.
You can't go from like one all the way to right. You have to kind of like ease into things, right? Okay.
Yeah. And that's probably been the biggest struggle. But at the same time, we're getting a really great following. So
okay, great. So it sounds like you have the next month or two. You have your soccer still there. You got to come here and play, by the way, right? We're waiting for you. But you're completely healed. You're good. Your body's feeling good, right? Come, right? So you can play.
I feel great.
You play small-sided as well.
Yeah, I'll play whatever. I'm into whatever.
Okay. Not gonna hurt, right?
I mean, I might hurt somebody. Right. No, I'm just kidding.
What was your numbers, by the way, in your playing career?
I was
jersey number.
10 for Canada.
Right.
And then I always got.
What was your most recent one? What was your most recent number?
4.
Okay.
They're like, everyone's like, a defender's not number 10.
Right, look, 10 and 4. Wow.
10 and oh wow.
Wow. See, we pay attention to details.
Oh wow. Okay, high five for that. I'm definitely coming back here now. You're my favorite now.
All right.
So we're going to Boa Steakhouse tonight or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
A hot date.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play against Tristan. Tristan will be on my team, by the way. He's a baller.
Fun, you can have him.
Yeah.
Because I beat him last time. So, but he's a true man. He's like, no, you did it, and I'm like, yeah, actually, they have it on film. So
that's hilarious.
I'll show it to you again.
Right. Okay. So then, wrapping up here, what do you have going for like the next month or two, kind of like on your calendar, or what, what's your exciting things, that we can look forward to from you?
So currently filming a movie right now. It's called The Creatress. So that will come out next year, but you'll see some postings about it that I'll start putting up. We're working with some pretty awesome people.
That's awesome. So that means you have like a IMDb
Yes,
page
I have
too?
an IMDb.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Pretty popular. No, I'm just kidding. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, with all the projects I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's another thing that I was just talked to you about. It's something soccer specific, but I can't talk about it yet until I sign.
Without talking about it, is it like are you like a?
It's TV related.
Okay,
soccer.
so it's on TV related. Mm-hmm. Okay, got it.
So I'm hoping all that comes together. That would be like my dream.
Okay.
And
being in front of the camera, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so
like hosting and all that stuff.
Yeah, it seems you're very comfortable in front of the camera and talking and right.
Yeah.
And obviously you're photogenic, right?
Thank you. Yeah, I have a lot of fun talking about things that I love, especially like soccer. So, I really came to LA to do a lot more sports broadcasting type stuff. So,
what was your major, by the way? I forgot to ask.
Advertising marketing.
Okay.
Yeah, but I really just wanted to be an entrepreneur, which I'm starting to do, and working on our clothing line. So
you have a clothing line as well.
Yeah, so we're doing like athletic wear.
Okay.
So
athleisure.
Okay. Yes, I know there's
like the
so many things
Lululemon
out there.
Type, or what is give us an example of what's the website? Go ahead and do a shout out.
We don't have a website yet for that.
Do you have the name of the brand?
We don't have that yet. We have.
What do you have then?
We have over 100. We have over 100 names. So we're just narrowing it down, but I'm looking at all the product right now. Currently. So we have a lot of things that are being made.
Got it. Women only, or men's?
It's going to be men's. You know how the process is.
Yeah, you start with the women's, right? We've
been working on this for over a year. I mean, anybody out there that's started a company, they know how long it takes to put together.
Okay.
But
so we have a fashion line that you're working on at the moment as well. Okay.
That's always been a goal of our fitness company, and then
so that would be aligned with Fit as a Pro, you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
And then we are doing a lot of stuff with Fit as a Pro, a lot of collaborations, and a lot more programs are going to be coming out. What else? Oh, I'm going to be traveling to Puerto Rico to talk about hosting a big camp there, but also just to help in the cleanup efforts after the hurricane. For me, a big thing is giving back a lot more, and I'm trying to help all the, after all this devastation in the areas. And, with Houston, I played there. It has a special place in my heart. Yeah. So my family lives there. And then, Puerto Rico. So working on some cool stuff with my soccer tour type thing that I'm doing for giving back to the kids, and just going out there and meeting different cultures, and so just kind of doing. And I'm doing a public speaking event for the Boys and Girls Club with over 3,000 kids.
Wow.
So
in
for
LA?
me, on the 21st. Which is huge for me. Like, I love the public speaking and just kind of talking about my journey and just mentoring people to kind of just go through the whole process of becoming a pro player, or just my experiences, and for them, like, just in life, just to help. So
great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Man, we had these little pumpkins
we didn't even
out
get to
here.
do them.
We didn't get to do this. So we had these out, right? And we had these pumpkins because it's like fall, October.
I just want to
weather.
eat the seeds.
I know.
Do you guys do that out
I do. Yeah, we do.
Yeah, my dad.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
not these. These are so small, right?
Yeah.
So then we didn't get. We were supposed to decorate during the podcast.
But we just
and then
got
we were gonna,
so into it.
we got so into the stories and your background. So, I mean, we're not gonna be able to decorate it now, but
I'll take a picture.
Yeah. How about we'll do it
decorate.
offline, and then afterwards, and then we'll at least be able to show the picture. All right. But
cool.
thank you so much for joining us on the podcast, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks again for joining us on Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life.